Hi, everybody. Welcome to Thursday here at home with APS. I'm Miss Jacobson, and we have a really great day scheduled for you today, and I think you're going to enjoy what we've got going. It's Math and Science Day today, but it's also kind of some special days here. It is International Book Day, and it is International Breakfast Burrito Day, we found out this morning. So we're doing some celebrating here in our studio. But I want to say hi to you all and hope that you are staying well, that you are keeping busy, that you are reading every single day, and that you are helping around the house. Now, we want to give a shout out to our school of the day today, and that is Ventana Ranch Elementary School here in Albuquerque. Mr. Rory Crouch, who is the assistant principal at Ventana, is here. He's actually, in this picture, he's in the library at Ventana, so students who go to Ventana, you'll recognize this location. And he brought his dog Buddy to school to help him work that day, and they decided to take a break and read Pete the Cat. And so Buddy is very interested in reading that book. If you haven't read Pete the Cat and the series of books that go with it, that's an awfully fun book. So a great shout out to all the students, staff, and families of Ventana Ranch Elementary School here in Albuquerque. So let's get ready for a great Thursday. I hope you also stay with us for tomorrow because we have a very special guest coming in the 9 o'clock hour. Wrangler Bob Meyer from the International Rattlesnake Museum will be with us tomorrow. So make sure that you tune in tomorrow morning. Of course, we'll be here at 8 o'clock, but we'll also be ready with our virtual field trip with Wrangler Bob at 9 o'clock tomorrow on Friday. Have a great day, everybody. Learn a lot, and we will see you very soon here at home with APS.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to At Home with APS. It's Miss Doris again. Hope you're doing well today. I don't know if you know this, but this is International Children's Book Day. And we wanted to share a special book with you, just for you to know that this is the day, if you haven't had a chance to make your own book, this would be a really great day to do that. This book is called Book Fiesta. It's the title. And it's a bilingual book. This morning we're going to just do the book just in English. And the actual author of this book is Pat Mora, and it's illustrated by Rafael Lopez. And you're going to love the illustrations and the words, of course. It is published by Harper. Let's get started. Look at these gorgeous illustrations. This is all about different ways to read books, how we read books, where we are when we're reading books. But the illustrations always make me smile just to watch. Book Fiesta. Look at the gorgeous pictures. Hooray! Today is our day, El Día de los Niños. Let's have fun today reading our favorite books. Dun dun. You can see all the kids. They have like an entire sign that is attached to kind of like puppet sticks. It's almost like a dragon. We read in English and Spanish, and Chinese and Navajo too. We read by ourselves. We read with a friend. Have you read a book yet today? And we read at the library too. Right now our libraries are closed, but reading at your home could make your own library. You could just set up your own library at your house. Our families tell us stories while we listen and play. The dad looks like he's reading. We read libros together in cars and planes and on trains. We read to our puppies and kittens and to lizards in our yard. It reminds me of all the principals that are reading to their animals at home or at school. We read Riding an Elephant. I've never done that. And Sailing with a Whale. I've never done that either. We read In a Long Submarine. Or Floating in a Hot Air Balloon. Oh, I love it. Look at the way the author and the illustrator made it so that the book turns and you see a different angle of the book. Then we read Snug in Our Beds While Reading to the Moon. The moon has all the letters hanging down. And Fly Away in Our Books. Toon, toon. What a gorgeous story. I hope you get a chance today to read a great book or 2 or 3. And guess what? I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great day, guys.
Hi, I'm Mrs. B, and today we're going to talk about science, and we're going to focus on seasons. So let's start first by reviewing our 5 senses. Remember, we use our 5 senses to make sense of everything around us, and it's really important in science to use them. So let's review them. Hearing, smell, taste, touch, and sight. So when we talk about the seasons, let's first start by talking about day and night. And I have a chart here, and I want us to look at some pictures and figure out which that would be in. Would it be during the day, or would it be at night? When do we see the sun? During the day or at night? During the day. When would we see the moon and stars? At night. How about fireworks? Have you seen fireworks? Do you remember when you saw fireworks? At night is best to see fireworks, all those pretty colors in the sky. When do we usually go to school? We usually go during the day. Maybe somebody in your family or a grown-up you know goes to night school, but we usually go to school during the day. And when do we sleep? Well, maybe we take naps during the day, but we usually sleep at night. So, do you see any patterns here? Like when we go to school, is it better to have maybe more daylight? Or maybe when we sleep and we see fireworks, is that better to have less light? Do you sleep better with a light off or a light on? Is it better to see the fireworks with the lights on or off? What about looking at the moon and the stars? So what I want us to focus on today is also exploring the 4 seasons. Do you remember the 4 seasons? Fall, winter, spring, and summer. So let's look at some pictures and also sort them by season. When might you wear a jacket? Not a heavy one, just a light one. Maybe right now in the spring, maybe in the fall it gets a little cooler. I'm going to put this one in the fall. When is it really hot? It's really hot in the summer, especially here where we live. When does it get really windy? I think it's really windy right now. Do you know what season we're in right now? We are in the spring, and it's been very windy. When would we see snow? In the winter. What about a hot air balloon? There was a hot air balloon in Miss Torres's book today. Do you remember what season we would see hot air balloons? Maybe there's been one at your school. We would see them in the fall. I love looking at the balloons in the fall. When might we see a tree with no leaves on it whatsoever, no leaves on the ground? We would usually see that in the winter. What about ice cream? So I think we can eat ice cream anytime, but I usually eat the most ice cream in the summer. What about looking at a tree with some leaves? The grass is starting to turn green. Maybe we start to see some pretty flowers and plants. I see this right now. And remember, we're in the spring right now. What about this? Jack-o'-lanterns. When might you see jack-o'-lanterns the most? In the fall. In the same month that we see balloons, we would also see jack-o'-lanterns. What about wearing shorts? Again, maybe some people like to wear shorts all year long. I mostly like to wear shorts when it's really hot outside in the summertime. When might we wear a really heavy coat because it's really cold outside? In the winter. And so we used our senses today to talk about the different seasons. We talked about whether it's hot or cold, if we feel the wind, if we're really hot, what we might wear, what we might even eat or taste. And so why do we have daylight? Well, let me show you an example here. So let's imagine that this is the earth and that you, wherever you are the sun. So we have sunrises and sunsets. And the sun rises and we have sunlight or daylight. And daylight is the light we get from the sun. And when the sun sets, we have nighttime. And we can see the moon and the stars clear. So if this is the earth and you are the sun, the earth rotates or spins like this. So if you're the sun and this is the earth, that means during the day, the earth where we live is facing the sun. And the part of the earth that isn't facing the sun is on the back side. So we get daylight because we have sunlight on this side, and on the back side is nighttime. So if we live on this side of the earth and we're facing the sun, we're going to get daylight. And the people who live on the other side of the earth, who are not facing the sun, would have nighttime. So here, daylight, and here, nighttime, because we're not facing the sun. And so day and night and the seasons have to do with how much daylight we're getting, how much light from the sun we're getting. So I'm going to remove these pictures because I did some research and I found some numbers about how long the days are for each of the seasons. And I want us to compare the numbers. We're going to see which season has the most daylight and which season has the least daylight. So the longest days and the shortest days. So the first one I have here is for the month of July. Let's review our months. Ready? Say them with me. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Good. So, in the month of July, July is a hot time. July would be in what season? Summer. So when I did my research and I looked up information, I found that July has about 14 hours of daylight, or light that we would get from the sun. March. Do you know what season March is in? Now we're in April. Last month was March, and it's been windy, and I've started to see green grass grow, and flowers start to bloom. March is in the spring, and in the spring we have about 12 hours of daylight. Next is October. October is that month where we start to see balloons in the sky, a lot of balloons. And we start to see jack-o'-lanterns. We start to see the leaves falling on the ground. It starts to feel a little colder. October is in the fall. And last, December. December is when we have winter break. It's really cold. We have to wear our heavy coats. So winter has about, or December has about 10 hours. So let's look at these numbers. We've got 11 hours in the fall, 10 hours in the winter, 12 hours in the spring, and 14 hours in July. Which of these numbers is the biggest number? Let's count to make sure we remember smallest to largest. So count with me, 1 to 14. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so which of these seasons has the least or the smallest amount of daylight? Winter with 10 hours. Which season has the most daylight? Summer has 14 hours. Isn't that interesting to compare that and see that? Did you ever think about that? How long the days are in each of the different seasons, in each of the different months? And so today, as we talked about the seasons, I want you to do a little bit of homework. So if you have some paper, something to write with, something to draw with, and something to draw on, I want you to make a 4 square. So a line going straight down and a line going across. And then inside each of the 4 squares, draw something to help you remember what we learned today about the seasons. So I drew a flower for spring, a snowman for winter, some cool sunglasses because it's so sunny in the summer, and a hot air balloon. I love watching hot air balloons in the fall. And then on the back, draw a picture of you using your 5 senses in your favorite season. My favorite season is winter. So I'm wearing a hat because it's cold outside. I start to see a lot of different twinkling, colorful lights in the winter. I start to see a lot of cookies. I love eating cookies. I also drink or eat hot soup and eat chili, red or green chili. I start to hear music and taste candy and see red and green colors. And if we're lucky, we get snow during the winter, and I feel the coldness of the snow and playing with it. So today, draw yourself pictures to remind you of the seasons. Remember, we're in spring. And then think about what's your favorite season? And what do you feel, what do you hear, taste, see, or touch during your favorite season? Thanks for joining me today. I'll see you next time.
Good morning, all of our friends at home in TV land. We're so glad you're here with us today. My name is Ms. Carnes, and I am a math resource teacher for Albuquerque Public Schools. And so my job during the school year, when we're having school, is to work with teachers to help them think about really fun and really fabulous ways to teach math. And I also work with students in trying out some of those fun and fabulous ways. So today we are going to use our brains and our bodies to spend some time thinking about numbers. And if you at home have a pencil and a paper somewhere nearby, you may want to go ahead and get that so you can record some of the things we do together today. This way you can think about them later and you have a way to remember what we worked on today together. So while some of our friends are going to get paper, let's go ahead and get a little bit warmed up. So I said we were going to use our brains and our bodies to think about math. So we actually have some mathematical tools that come right on our bodies. Can you guess what those are? They are fingers. So we're going to be using our fingers today. Let's get them warmed up. So first, give your fingers a good stretch. Oh, stretch those fingers because you may not have been using them for writing lately. Today, I hope you'll do some writing with us. Now let's practice wiggling our fingers. Lift them way up like you were going to tickle a tree. And bring them back down. Now wiggle them way down low like you were going to pet your cat or your dog or your brother at home. Okay, so now let's go ahead and get started. So our mathematical tool for today, again, is going to be our fingers. How many fingers do we have? Let's go ahead and count those. Ready? Count along with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 fingers that we can use to help us think about and build numbers. We're going to use those today. So when we showed our 10 fingers, how did that 10 show up? We have how many fingers on this hand? 5. And how many fingers on this hand? 5. Together, that gives us 10. What might be a number sentence that could go with our finger pattern for 10? Can you think of one? What would it be? Let's go ahead and see if you thought about, here's our 10. Here's our finger pattern, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a fast way to show hands, draw hands and fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And all together 10. Our number sentence might be 5 plus 5. That equals 10, doesn't it? Let's try some other finger patterns. Can you show me 9 on your fingers? What would 9 look like? 9. Well, if you were thinking about your 10, there's an easy way to make 9, isn't there? We can just take one finger down. So now, instead of having 10, we have 9. What might be a number sentence we could show to go with our finger pattern for 9? So I had 5 on this hand and 4 on this hand. Could our finger pattern be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we showed 9 with 5 plus 4. It's just one less than our 10, isn't it? Let's build some other finger patterns. Can you show me 4 on your fingers? How might you do that? Think about it for a moment. How would we show 4? I thought of showing 4 this way. Did anybody think of it this way? 2 and 2 equals 4. We can count those. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what would our number sentence be for this finger pattern that equals 4? Can you think of it? I think 2 and 2 could be our finger pattern for 4. Is there another way we could show 4? Did somebody show 4 in a different way? Maybe you showed it like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 and 1 also makes 4. Let's record a number sentence to show that number pattern. 3 plus 1 also gives us 4. So, some patterns for numbers we can make on our hands only have one way, like 10, 5 plus 5, or 9, are 5 plus 4. 4 has more than one way to show. Is there even another way to make 4? How about this way? 4, and how many here? 0. Do I have 4 fingers up? 1, 2, 3, 4. I do. What's a number sentence that can go with this finger pattern? I'm going to have to make this one pretty small. We showed 1, 2, 3, 4 plus no fingers on our second hand. So the number sentence for this would be 4 plus 0 also equals 4. What about 5? What are the ways we could show 5 on our fingers? If you are thinking about 4, the ways we made 4, you might have thought about 3 and 1 more for 4, and then you can add just 1 more to get 5. So how did we make our 5? We could show this as, let's put it over here so we can connect to our 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 more is 5. Our number sentence here for 5 is 3 plus 2. Did someone make 5 a different way? What about 5 and 0? We can always add 0 to a number to get that same number. So there's another way for us to make 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fingers on one hand and 0 fingers on the other hand. So what's our number sentence? 5 plus 0 gives us 5. Let's do just one more, and then we're going to play our game. Can you think of ways to show 6 on your fingers? 6. How could we show 6? If you were thinking of 5, you might start with your pattern for 5, and then how do we get 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We add just one more. What would a number sentence be that goes with this finger pattern for 6? 5 and 1, right? So we could have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and one finger on our other hand. 5 plus 1 gives us 6. Is there another way to make 6? Did anyone do it this way? 3 and 3. 3 and 3 can make 6. Let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 and 3 is another way to make 6. Let's record our pattern and a number sentence. 3 plus 3. Can anyone think of even one more way to make 6? We know we can do, what could we do? 5 and 1, 3 and 3. 6 has even another way. We can build 6 with 4 and then add 5, 6. So 4 and 2 more will also give us 6. Let's record our number sentence. What would it be? I'm going to have to write this one small. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 plus 2 also gives us 6. So that's our warm-up for today. Now we're going to go ahead and play a game, a finger pattern game. Our game is called Roll, Fire, and Strike. And when we play this game, I want you to try to fire out your finger patterns fast if you already know them, okay? So if I say, show me 4, and you know a way to make it, I want you to make it fast, like boom, 2 and 2, that's 4. Or boom, 3 and 1, that's 4. If you're not sure of the finger pattern for a number, we can look at our chart to see if we've already written it down. We could count by ones to work it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or we could build from another number. A lot of bigger numbers can be built from 5, like our 6 here. 5, and how many more for 6? Oh, one more. 5 and 1 is 6. So that's been our practice for our game, Fire Away with Finger Patterns. So to play this game, you need a 0 through 10 die so that we can roll and see what numbers we'll make. Whatever number we roll on the die, we'll fire away our finger pattern for that number, and we will cover it on our Roll, Fire, and Strike bingo board. And today, since you're playing from home, we're going to have purple versus green on our board. If you if you try to play this game later at home and you don't have a 10-sided die, you can use a spinner that you can get from our resources on our APS site, or you can just draw one on paper. And we'll use it with a pencil and a paper clip. Let's use our spinner first, just so we see how it goes, and then we'll start. So I'm putting my paper clip on my spinner and my pencil, and I spin. Ooh. I got an 8. So what would be a way for me to make 8? Fire away your finger pattern if you know a way. I'm going to make 8 this way. Here's my fired away finger pattern. Did I make 8? Let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 8. So what would our number sentence be for this pattern for 8? We need to find it on our board. Does anyone see my 4 plus 4 pattern on the board? I see one. Okay, I'm covering 4 plus 4, and I'm going to try to get 3 in a row. Whoever gets 3 in a row will win this game. All right, let's roll and see what our next number is. Ooh, this time I got a 4. What are some ways we could make 4? I'm going to fire away with this one. Boom. What's my pattern for 4? I'm using doubles. Do I have 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. I do. 2 and 2 gives me 4. Do you see the number sentence for 2 plus 2 on our board? This is green's turn. So I'm going to cover 2 plus 2 on our bingo board. Let's roll again and see what the next number is. This time I got a 0. And I'm so glad I did, because in this game, whether you're using the die or the spinner, 0 counts as a 10. So we have 10 on our board, and guess what? There's only one way to make it. What's that? Can you show me? Fire it away. It's 5 and 5 will give us our 10. And this was purple's turn. Do you see the number sentence for 5 plus 5 on our board? I see one. I'm going to cover this one because I want to block green, so green has a harder time of getting 3 in a row. I want purple to get 3 in a row. All right, let's roll again. This time I got 6. And there's lots of ways to make 6. So fire away your finger pattern for 6. How will you make it? Did you think of 5 and one more for 6? That's a way. Maybe you thought of a double, 3 and 3. That's a way to make 6. Or maybe you thought of 4 and 2. That's another way to make 6. Let's see which of those number sentences we should choose for green. 3 plus 3, 4 plus 2, 5 plus 1. Let's see. Do you see which one I should use? I think that I am going to cover this 5 plus 1 because it might block purple from getting 3 in a row. We have to be strategic when we're playing bingo, right? We want to try to get our numbers in a row and block our opponent from getting 3 in a row. I got 6 again. So 6 has several ways that we can make 6. Let's look at our board and think about which would be the best way, would be the best number sentence to choose if we wanted to win this game. Oh, I think we should choose, looking for a 4 and a 2. Does anyone see a 4 and a 2? I'm going to cover the 4 and the 2 for purple. 4 and 2 gives us 6. Let's roll again. Now it's green's turn. We're not very close to 3 in a row. This time, I got a 9. 9. How should I make 9? Oh, I can see from my chart, there's really only one way for me to make 9 on my fingers. So that way is 5, right, and 4. We could count that, or we could know that we just have one less than 10, so we know it's 9. Let's look for 5 plus 4 on our board. Is there one that could help us win? I think I'll go with this 5 plus 4 here for purple. I can't tell if purple or green is going to win so far. Let's look. Okay. 9 again. So we just did the 9. We know how to make it. Fire it out. It's a 5 and a 4. Do you see another 5 and 4 here we could cover? I see one, and guess what? It's good news for green because it's right next to another green marker. So now green has 2 in a row. Green might win. All right, it's purple's turn. Let's give it a try. So, guess what I got? A 1. How can we make a 1? Show me 1 on your fingers. There it is, right? 1 and 0. That's the only way that we could make a 1. So, I see a 1 and a 0. That could block green. Here we go. And now purple also has 2 in a row. So maybe this last roll will let us know who wins our roll, fire, and strike game. Here we go. I got a 7. So what are some ways to make 7? Let's think about that. I could build it from 5, 5, 6, 7. 5 and 2 will give me 7. It's another way. What if I started with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? 3 plus 4 gives us 7. Let's take a look. It's green's turn. Do we see either of those we could use for a 7? Oh, I see a 4 and a 3. I'm going to block that purple. I blocked purple from being able to get 3 in a row in that direction. And now it's purple's turn again. Guess what I rolled? A 3. How can we make 3? We could do 3 and 0. Or we could do 2 and 1 more gives us 3. And guess what? If we choose 2 and 1 more for 3, then purple is our winner with 3 in a row. So I hope you had fun playing this game, Roll, Fire, and Strike, practicing your finger patterns and thinking about different ways to make numbers. This is a game that you could play at home. We have this resource for you on our APS at-home resources game board, and we also have a spinner for you in case you don't have that 0 through 9 die at home. So let's just wrap up with a little challenge. We're going to make a few more finger patterns, but this is going to be tougher because I'm going to ask you to not look at your fingers. We're going to play bunny ears. So can you show me 5 on your fingers? And I want you to show it bunny ears, so it's going to look like this. Can't look at it. Is that my 5? Do I have 5? Let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's my 5. 3 plus 2. Now you try. Can you show me 6 on your fingers as bunny ears? How will you do it? Here's my way. Did anyone do my way? How did I build my 6? I used a double, 3 and 3. So 3 plus 3 gives us 6. Did anyone build it a different way? Another easy way to build 6 is starting with 5. So I could have 5 and 1 more. Does that give me 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It does. So 5 plus 1 gives us our 6. That's another way. Let's finish up with just one more way to make 6. Can you think of it? Let's think. So, how about if I start with 4? Did I get it? Count with me and check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got it. 4 and 2 is another way to make 6. I thank you, all of my friends at home, for playing along with me to get today, building finger patterns, playing Roll, Fire, and Strike, and just thinking about numbers. I'm so happy that you're here today learning with us. So, after the session today, or later on if you're getting bored, see if someone at home can play Roll, Fire, and Strike bingo with you. If you're not able to do that, practice firing away your finger patterns on your own. Pick numbers and try to build them. 4 and 2, 3 and 3, 5 and 1. Or you could also have a family member call out a number for you and you try to fire away that finger pattern. Thank you all for joining us today at Home with APS, and we look forward to seeing you again.
Good morning and welcome back to At Home with APS. My name is Miss Q, and today we're going to be reading a book called Lifetime: The Amazing Numbers in Animals' Lives. I thought this was going to be a great book to share because I know that Miss B shared a little bit about seasons today, and we're practicing with all of our numbers during our bingo today, so I thought this would be a great book to share. This book has tons of numbers. It also has lots of different animals that you can find outside. Hopefully you won't find all of them, but maybe you can find some of them. In one lifetime, this spider will spin one papery egg sac. Be fragile, don't touch. So in a lifetime, a spider will spin one. I wonder if you've ever seen one when you're looking up in trees around your neighborhood. In one lifetime, this caribou will grow and shed 10 sets of antlers. Here's the caribou, and here are 10 sets of antlers that they grow and shed. In one lifetime, this alpaca will grow 20 different fleece. Never chilly when you have this warm coat. Look at all of these different fleece from this alpaca. This is often what you see rolled into string that you can make sweaters or scarves or hats with. How would you make 20? You could do it by 5, 10, 15, 20. You can count by ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Don't forget the one that he's wearing. In one lifetime, this woodpecker will drill 30 roosting holes in the woods. Here's his head popping out of one of the holes that he drilled. And he'll drill 30 different holes for homes in his one lifetime. I'm glad I don't have to live in 30 different homes in my lifetime. That would be a lot of drilling. In one lifetime, this rattlesnake will add 40 beads to its rattle. If you can hear this rattle, you are too close. The rattle is at the end of the snake's tail, and when you get closer, he shakes that rattle so that you can hear him. The older he gets, the louder his rattle, because he's adding beads to his rattle as he gets older. Have you ever seen a rattlesnake? I wonder if that will be one of the snakes that we share tomorrow. In one lifetime, this female red kangaroo will give birth to 50 joeys. A joey is a baby kangaroo. So many happy birthdays in this family. Here's the mama, and here are her 50 baby joeys. What would you do if you had 50 brothers and sisters? How would you even keep track of them? That poor mom. I bet she's always worried. In one lifetime, this bottlenose dolphin will use the same 100 teeth to eat food in the sea. The slipperier, the better. You can see all 100 teeth in this bottlenose dolphin. Earlier, last week, we practiced counting to 100. Do you remember some of those ways we practiced counting? Maybe counting by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. That's a lot of teeth on this dolphin. In one lifetime, this giraffe will grow 200 inches, 508 centimeters tall, and wear 200 spots on its body. That's 100 spots on each side. So the giraffe will be 200 inches tall. I think giraffes are really tall. I wonder what the shortest giraffe would be and what the tallest giraffe would be. And then it would also have 100 spots on one side and 100 spots on the other. That's a lot of spots on a giraffe. What other animals do you know that have spots? Or maybe insects or reptiles? Can you think of some that have spots? Can you think of some that have 100 spots? In one lifetime, this alligator will build 22 nests and lay 550 eggs. This one alligator, 550 eggs. That's a lot of eggs. Could you count to 550? Might take you a little while. Practice at home. In one lifetime, this giant swallowtail will visit 900 flowers sipping nectar. What's a swallowtail? Here it is. It's a butterfly. 900 flowers that this one butterfly is going to visit. In one lifetime, this male seahorse will carry and birth 1,000 teeny-weeny, squiggly-wiggly baby seahorse, one mama seahorse, and 1,000 baby seahorses. That's a lot of babies. All of the animals in this book did something really cool in their lifetime. I wonder what you will be able to measure that you can do in your lifetime. On the back of this page, it talks about loving math and keeping track of things that you get to do. Hopefully, when you're at home, you can find some things to keep track of that you can do. Maybe you can jump 100 times today. Or maybe you can count 1,000 stars in the sky. Maybe you can smell 50 flowers in your backyard. There's so many great things to do now that it's spring season. We hope that you can get outside and enjoy some of it and do some counting while you're outside too. We also learned a great way to play a math game. Maybe you can practice that at home too. We thank you for joining us today for At Home with APS, and we hope to see you back tomorrow for some more great lessons by our teachers. Have a great day, and don't forget to get outside and enjoy spring.